I'm Sally Harrison, and I'm proud to be the president of the Mesa Chamber of Commerce and get to work with such a great team and so many really wonderful members. And it's just, it's fun to do Zoom, I would say on occasion, but we've been doing Zoom a lot. But you know, now we get to see each other. I don't always get to get out to all of our meetings. So it's been kind of a treat to be able to jump on some of these calls. I'm going to turn this over to Bob because he's going to lead us through today's presentation. And Bob, the screen is shared, and take it away.
So I did just text you because there are some elements to the presentation this morning that deal with events. So I did want to give Sally just a moment to update everybody on the status of events at the current time with the Chamber so that we know where we're going with that. So I'm going to let you, if you would, Sally.
Okay, sure. Well, so as you know, I mean, we're still not able to have any large events where we can't really socially distance, and that makes it pretty tough for us as a chamber, or frankly, all the chambers. So at this time, we're going to continue to do committee meetings and leads groups and things like that on Zoom. It's worked for us. It's worked really well. I don't know what we would have done if this had frankly happened a few years ago, but fortunately, we have the technology to do things like this now. We are planning to have our annual golf tournament in December. So I think we've got time on our side, hopefully. And then we are still looking at some of our other large events and how we can do those virtually. So stick with us, hang in there. We're appreciative that everybody is looking for ways to be creative and engage, and we're doing the same thing on our end. We did open the chamber just for a day so we could work at getting new member welcome bags out to some of our new folks, and had a handful, I think about a dozen of them stop by last Wednesday. It worked really well because we were open all day, and so people came at different times, but right now we're still working from home, so it's going to continue that way for a while.
Very good. So there's a couple of people that literally just messaged me to get info, so they're kind of jumping in. So I'll give just a moment.
I'll watch for it, Bob.
While I am setting up share screen to give you an insight into what we're going to do today. And so thank you everybody for being here. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. I am the Director of Communications. My name is Bob Nelson, and what I do is I affectionately refer to myself to everybody as the email guy. So yeah, when you get an email from the Chamber, more often than not, it has come from me. So we're going to talk a lot today about the different things that the Chamber has to offer you. I am going to kind of segue into the specific topic for today, which was 10 ways to promote your Chamber digitally right now. But we'll do that when we get to the digital portion of this presentation. So feel free, by the way, to post any questions in the comments section of the Zoom. And you know, Sally is always very good about making sure that we get those answered. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And with that, we'll go ahead and get going. Normally I would go around the room and I would have everybody introduce themselves, but I want to do that a little bit differently today. What I'd like you to do is to put your name, the name of your business, your email, phone number, and website, and put those into the chat. So that way people, and if you really want to, put a one-line description of what you do. So give everybody kind of a high level, this is what I do, this is where I work, this is how to get a hold of me. And put that into the chat so everybody can kind of get a directory of everybody else that was on the call today. And you can reach out to anybody that's in the chat to learn more about what they do. And I would encourage everybody to make the time to do that, because that's how you can build relationships right now digitally, is by being proactive and reaching out to each other and saying, hey, I saw that you do this. Can you tell me more about what you do? And that way we can start to work on those relationships. So the Chamber's mission is pretty straight ahead. We want to be the recognized resource and celebrated business leader in the community. And then, of course, our mission is to improve, promote, and advocate for businesses in Mesa. I see Keith Lawson's head just pop in sideways there. And we do that a number of different ways. One of the strengths that I think that the Chamber has definitely exhibited right now is the ability to approach our mission and our vision from totally different directions than what people would have expected a chamber to do. I think everybody expects a chamber to be, hey, you're morning networking or you're an evening networking event and you're a gathering event. And I think that I know we have worked very hard, and I've seen it amongst our peer chambers as well, to really make sure that during this time where we aren't necessarily able to have those events, that we've really been able to pivot and still bring the value to the membership through the other areas that we are very strongly focused on, such as this Zoom. So there are 4 elements to making your chamber membership a success. And this is a very important piece that most people, they'll understand 1 or 2 of these elements, but you really need to have a good grasp of all 4 to really kind of make sure that you're getting the most out of what you've invested in, because you've invested in this membership. Understanding your benefits, and that really just starts today. That starts with the discussions that we have today, the things that I talked to you about in terms of what's available to you, and knowing what you have in your toolbox, as it were, to be able to get the most out of your membership. The second is to make a plan, and normally what that would mean in this context of this meeting is Linda Haskell, our membership benefits director, would normally have you fill out a form that kind of asks you the things that you want to get out of your membership in that first year or the next year if you're a tenured member. So one thing I want you to think through as we go through this presentation today, what are your goals as it relates to your Mesa Chamber membership? What do you want to accomplish over the next 12 years? And write those down or put those into your notepad on your computer, or just document them somewhere so that you have those available to you and can see them on a regular basis. And I'm going to have you send those to Linda when we're done. The third one, of course, is follow through, right? Once you have a plan, you want to follow through and bring the plan to fruition. And that's really the part where we as staff have the strongest ability to help you, because our goal is to make sure that you have every opportunity to be successful. And so the follow through piece is where we get to actually be a part of that solution for you and make that happen. So that's probably the part that we are most ready to step up and be a part of what making you successful as a business. The fourth one, I think, is the one that a lot of people kind of get lost on, they go astray on, which is the adapt to change. And when I say that, what I'm saying is today you're going to write some stuff down that you want to accomplish from your chamber membership. That's going to change in 3 months. It's going to change in 6 months. It's going to change in 9 months. And what you need to, the benefit that you're going to need to get out of your chamber membership is going to change over time. And so really be flexible to be able to adapt to the change that's going to happen because of everything that's going on. I mean, who knew 5 months ago, 6 months ago, that we were all going to be meeting here digitally as opposed to meeting in a room? So the important thing is that you understand that, hey, change is going to happen and I'm going to adapt to it. And my plan, so the things that I wrote down in step 2 are going to change because of it. And you know, we certainly understand that, and as long as you're communicating with us when those changes happen, we're going to have the best chance of supporting you and making you successful in that. So keep that in mind as you work forward. Real quick, you have a pretty fantastic team, if I may say so myself, in spite of me, that supports you to make sure that your chamber membership is successful. So it starts all the way with Marcus Campbell, who's my communications assistant, all the way to Teresa DeBona, who's our administrative professional and really is the sort of the knowledge center for what we do, to Linda, who's the support for your chamber benefits, to Susan, who goes out and makes sure that every business in Mesa knows about the Mesa Chamber and the benefits that we provide, To me, who just keeps emailing people all day long, to Shauna, who works remotely and makes sure that, you know, everything runs well financially and supports everybody in their registrations, all the way up to the boss, Sally. So I don't think there's very many people out there that can't say that, you know, if I asked Sally for something, you know, she said no. I don't think there's anybody anywhere that could say that. The biggest Rolodex on the planet. I'm just going to throw that out there and move on right now. So, and Sally, stop me if somebody posts a question, because I can't see the chat right now. So I just want to make sure that I get questions answered as they pop in. So
right now you're getting a lot of people putting their information out there like you asked.
Excellent. Very
yes.
good. So make sure you're checking that and make sure you're documenting the people that you want to follow up with after the meeting has ended. So there are a number of benefits that happen as you are going through your day and as you are running your business. There are a number of chamber benefits that are sort of working in your behalf while that's happening. So your digital directory listing, that's where you're listed online. And that's a critical component to that whole sort of trust score, if you will, that people look at when they're looking for a business online. Typically in the first 3 responses in Google, you're going to find a chamber listing. So if I do a search for, you know, Market Builder Mesa, one of the first 3 listings that should come up should be the chamber listing for the Market Builder in Google. And I see Peggy's taking that already for me. Thanks, Pegs. But the idea is that your listing in the chamber directory, because you are a part of an association, because you are a part of a group, brings a certain amount of credibility to your business. And so that's a huge plus when we have populations of people out searching for people to do business with. So never forget that. Also, it doesn't hurt that there are 10,000 plus people every month or year looking for businesses in our chamber directory. So being in that directory is going to be a huge plus to your digital footprint, if you will. The Compass Resource Guide listing. So right now, anywhere and everywhere that your business can be seen, because you can't necessarily be out and about as much as you would normally be, anywhere you can be listed is going to be a plus for you. And so the Compass Directory Resource Guide is a huge advantage in that way, because it gives people a physical resource to look up businesses to do business with. And so, you know, we print 20,000 of those every year. We get them out into the community. They're delivered by the Arizona Republic to people's homes. So they have them in their home, which they're spending a lot of time in right now. And so if they're looking for businesses, they're going to utilize resources at their disposal, which this would be one of them. So you want to make sure that you know your business is listed. And every member at the time that we do each year's publication is listed in that directory. So there is a literal directory in the back of the magazine where every chamber member is listed. So you really want to make sure that you're taking advantage of that. And then probably the one that probably we like to talk about a lot, because it's critically important and not a lot of people understand, is the advocacy piece. So I know everybody relates this to insurance, and you know, if you don't necessarily need it, you pay for it, but you don't necessarily need it all the time. Advocacy is a little bit like that, but advocacy is a lot more than that as well. It's happening all the time. There's always something happening out there where the chamber is either needing to support an initiative or support a member in relation to a relationship with a government entity, or in some way we're out there acting on behalf of the membership base to do whatever it is that we need to do to support the business community. And so really, I mean, that's a machine that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I can't tell you the number of times that either Sally and I will have a text conversation about something that's going on, and we need to either send a note or we need to show some support or something of that nature. It's just a constant sort of heartbeat of support that's happening for you as a business owner all the time. So I'd spend a lot of time going over details on that. I don't know, Sally, you want to talk a little bit about that? I know really that's more your domain than anybody.
The advocacy piece?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going on consistently kind of behind the scenes. We work with the 7 other chambers in the East Valley. So every chamber from Carefree Cave Creek all the way to Queen Creek. And we've had that association, or that alliance for like 20 some years now. It's grown obviously over time, but the Mesa Chamber was one of the first 4 that got together, you know, back when it started. We have lobbyists that work for us and represent us at the legislature. So, you know, whether you have interest in that or, you know, that's your passion, we are working on your behalf. And our group focuses on business issues, not, you know, if somebody has some, you know, odd thing that they're focused on. But our group, just like our own chamber, focuses on business issues. So we are working right now on a report card that we will publish. So if you're interested in that and you want to know how the representatives at the legislature do on your behalf, or if they aren't focused on business issues, it shows in that report card. I saw the proof yesterday, so it should be out in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But that's something that is important, that we track that and we watch who is really aligning with chambers of commerce and the focus that we have, which obviously is business issues, which includes transportation and education, you know, all those big things that really not everybody knows all the ins and outs about. And that's why we do need people, you know, like our lobbyists that are advocating for us and working on our behalf. So
Cool.
we do have our government affairs group that meets every month. We hadn't met for a couple of months, and so we have another call tomorrow, our Zoom call. And tomorrow we'll be hearing from Dr. Andy Forlis, the new superintendent from Mesa Public Schools. So if you have interest in knowing what's going on or what they think is going on and might change next Tuesday, you don't know. I think that it will be a really good call tomorrow. And I know we've got quite a handful of people that have signed up for that call.
And you can sign up for that call at the chamber or at the chamber website, mesachamber.org/events. And that'll give you a list of all the chamber events coming up, and you just RSVP for the events that you want to do. So thank you, Sally.
Yep.
So I'll get into a little bit more detail. Again, I'm kind of teasing my little top 10 digital ways to promote your business that I've been putting in the event, but I will talk real quick about the power of the chamber website. Your login is incredibly powerful to building a robust and sort of active chamber presence. You can actually build a multimedia profile. So you can add video to your listing in the chamber directory. So people can actually see an intro video for your business right from their listing in the directory. You can post job opportunities. I know a number of you here on this call have done that. It's a great way to help find the right person for your business because, again, mesachamber.org is a Mesa-focused entity, so you're going to get a lot of candidates that are living in Mesa, looking in Mesa, and really are a part of the Mesa community. You can create events for your own business. So we actually do maintain a calendar for member events. So whether it's a Saturday event that you're doing as a fundraiser, or if you're hosting some sort of a seminar or webinar, you can actually create an event around that and post it on the chamber website. You can post press releases. You'll see this a lot. Right now, you see this a lot with some of our larger members that, you know, they'll put out a press release and we'll post it on the website, but really any member can do that. So if your business has received some sort of notoriety, whether it's, hey, we were just recognized by our national industry association, or, hey, one of our members just, you know, got an award of some sort, make sure you're posting that out. Send a press release about that, because that information helps build the relationship, not just with the chamber, but it helps build that relationship with the community. And everybody wants to do business with people they know, and they want to do business with successful people. So the more they know about what's going on with your business, the more they're going to feel comfortable coming to you when it's time to actually do business. So you can network and message with other members. So if you've logged in, you've noticed that there's just a fun little, I call it a Facebook feed in the member side, but it's really a little social feed where you can post updates and, you know, post little things that say, hey, I'm offering a special to people that are reading this feed, you know, that kind of thing. And you can kind of talk with other members. You can also message other members from the back end. So you can actually, if there's somebody that you want to check in with or see about doing business with, you can actually message them from that back end. You can, of course, register for events. And then, of course, you can edit your displayed profile information at will. So if something changes about your business, the description needs to be updated, you actually can just log right in, go right to the web section and update that in real time. So you don't have to wait for the communications director to get done doing whatever it is that he's doing to go in and update it for you. So lots of power there. And I really have an entirely separate sort of presentation that you can watch. I think we do have it up on our YouTube channel where I kind of dive into some more detail about that back end. So if you get a chance, check out the Chamber's YouTube channel. You can see that video, or just reach out to me if you have questions, and I'm happy to kind of walk through it with you. So this is kind of the quiet side right now because we don't get to do a lot of events. But this would normally be our event sort of lineup. And we are optimistic that there will come a day when we will be able to aggressively attack our event schedule again. But I think, as Sally said, we are looking at doing the golf tournament in December. And I'm sure that as we work further through this situation, that we will be able to start doing some additional things out there. And we're talking about some other fun stuff too, that we're not quite ready to share yet, but some ideas that we're bouncing around about doing some interesting things digitally. So, but I won't spend a lot of time on the slide right now just because there's not
Bob,
yeah.
Mesa Morning Live was filmed this week. So it was virtual, and it will be live as far as on channel 11 and on YouTube next week, probably middle of the week.
So we did, to kind of expound on that a little bit, we just did 2 days ago, we recorded sort of a virtual episode of Mesa Morning Live. We had 3 great guests. So we had the Mayor John Giles. We had Dave Richens, who's the CEO of the United Food Bank. And then we had Christine O'Daniel, I think, from SRP. Who's in charge of their electric vehicle initiative. So really, if you're interested in knowing about electric vehicles and how SRP is kind of approaching electric vehicles, it's a really great episode. I think the mayor talks a lot about all the things that the city is involved with the Mesa Cares information. And then I know Dave Richens is talking about the Herculean effort that United Food Bank has been supporting the community with over the last 3 months. So definitely really good interviews that you'll want to see, and we'll have those out for you probably Monday morning, and they'll be in the Monday message as featured. So one of the things that we are continuing through this time is our advocacy efforts and councils. So we run different councils, and we are a part of different advocacy efforts, both nationally, locally, and what have you, throughout the year to support not just a specific industry, but also to sort of extend your reach into a national level. So we're a part of the East Valley Chambers of Commerce Alliance. We're also a part of the United States Chamber of Commerce. We're also a part of the Western States Chamber of Commerce, if I remember right. Is that right? WACE? But then, go ahead. Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to say something. But then we also maintain a number of councils and groups focused on specific areas. So if there's an area where we see an opportunity to bring industry experts together, to work together on unified solutions to different areas, we'll form a group around that. So right now we have an education council, a government affairs council, we have a nonprofit vitality council, a Mesa Financial Network, a Mesa Industry and Defense, and then a Mesa Chamber Council on Aging and Health. So each council kind of is born from a different need, but they all kind of function in a similar aspect in that they're designed for the sort of the thought leaders in that area to come together and work together to the benefit of everybody. So I'm just kind of looking at my time to see if we have a little time to expound upon that. Linda, you want to talk just a real brief about the Nonprofit Vitality Council?
Sure. On the Nonprofit Vitality Council, this is an opportunity for the nonprofits to meet monthly, or well, we were meeting monthly. We are now meeting twice a month via Zoom, and to really have an opportunity to originally, when we did it, when we were meeting in the group, we had a speaker that would come in and speak on a topic that would resonate with everyone in the group. We also welcome our business members to have the opportunity to learn more about these agencies and to see how they can support them. Now we're meeting twice a month, and Dave Rishens is from United Food Bank facilitating that meeting and really giving an opportunity for the agencies to share what they're presently doing, how they're doing it, what challenges they're facing, and that sort of thing. I welcome you to come to the next nonprofit meeting, see what it's all about, learn about what these amazing agencies are doing. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
So, and that's just one example of how we leverage our membership to the benefit of not just any particular business, but to the benefit of the community overall. So with everything that's going on right now in regards to the pandemic, the Nonprofit Vitality Council has kind of gone into overdrive. So they're huddling up every couple of weeks and they're talking about ways that they can support each other while they're out supporting the community. And that's really an important piece. So we really want everybody, not just the nonprofit community, to be a part of that effort. So please don't feel like because it says Nonprofit Vitality Council that you don't have the opportunity to be a part of that. Please do, if you want to be a part of that, register for that and be a part of that. So that's all I have to say on that.
Hey, Bob, can I mention one thing?
I'm sorry?
Can I mention one thing?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So we started our Aging and Healthcare Committee, I want to say 7 or 8 months ago, maybe. And obviously, Mesa has an older population, and we decided that we were going to take on the challenge of making Mesa a dementia-friendly city. There's 2 other cities in the state. We found out last week that we've gotten that accreditation, whatever, the recognition. And so we'll be sending out a press release. You're all hearing it before most people. We'll send out a press release, and the mayor will actually be issuing a proclamation. So kind of a big deal for Mesa and for the people involved in that. And that's just like the nonprofit committee. Really, there's just a lot of people that are interested in being part of that, whether it's on the aging side or the healthcare side. So, you know, if you're interested at all, you're welcome to join us. I think it's the first Thursday of the month.
And that, you know, the same is true across the majority of these councils. So like the Education Council, if you're interested in issues of education, there's, you know, be a part of that. Be a part of that discussion and contribute what you know to making that better. So feel free to reach out to myself, to Sally, to Linda, to Susan about any of the different councils that you might be interested in, and we're happy to have those discussions with you. So the chamber sort of spearheads a lot of community involvement and partnerships. So we believe that, you know, part of our role is to be engaged in the community, because not every member has every opportunity to do that. So if we can help facilitate that, then we put ourselves in a place where you can be a part of something bigger as a member. So whether it's the annual hydration campaign that's happening right now through September 15th, and I know our networking groups are kind of are aggressive usually in participating in the hydration campaign. Whether it's things like the Mesa Veterans Resource Center that we helped start with the Mesa United Way, whether it's Make a Difference Day, Adopt a Family, Mesa Sister Cities. I mean, you can see we have a strong sort of presence in being a part of the community. And so we're always encouraging membership to join in that and be a part of that, because that's how you build trust. That's how you build, you know, sort of, I don't want to say credibility, but it's how you build, you know, awareness of who you are. And it also lets people know that you're in it for more than just, hey, I'm making money on my business. No, I want to make a difference in my community with my business. So again, it comes back to that whole trust to do business piece. And we want to make sure that you have every opportunity to do that. We also organize a number of sort of programs that you can be a part of. And you'll notice when we talk about things like Mesa Junior Chamber, Mesa Young Professionals, Chamber Success Academy, or Mesa Leadership, it's kind of an education circle. So, you know, whether it's, we start with Junior Chamber and they're very young participants, and then Young Professionals, they're a little bit older, and then Mesa Leadership, well, they're still pretty young. But you'll notice that what we want to do is engage everybody at every level in some way to improve their business and leadership skills. So we built this sort of circular education process for people to always be a part of something to improve their business acumen. So don't hesitate to participate at some level in one of these programs. Mesa Leadership is sort of the flagship leadership program that we have. It's been around for 30, I keep wanting to say 38, 37? Somewhere 37, 38 years. Long time, I think 1982, if I remember right, 82, 83. But it's been around a long time, and it's really a fantastic way for you to get insight into not just business leadership, but Mesa. So you're going to learn a lot about how Mesa functions from a perspective that you would not normally be able to get access to. And so you can be a part of something that's a lot bigger and a lot more detailed in terms of understanding the community that you live in from a whole new perspective. Friends of the Chamber, so this is for people that maybe they've sold their business or they've retired. Well, you should still be a member of the Chamber, because we want you from start to finish, right? So we created a program called Friends of the Chamber so that you can actually still be a part of what the Chamber does and contribute the skills and the knowledge and all of the expertise that you have to helping Mesa continue to thrive. So always happy to have Friends of the Chamber attend events, always happy to have them facilitate meetings and participate in special projects. Really a great group of people that participate in that. And then we have a couple of sort of organized programs that we do. One is our fantastic program that grew out of the partnership that we have with Mesa Community College. It's called our Green Flag Program. And it kind of sprouted from when we first moved into the facility that we're in right now. We saw an opportunity to create a sort of co-working and education space for new business owners and entrepreneurs. And we worked with Mesa Community College to build something that we call Green Flag Mesa. And if you've been on one of these calls before, of course, you've heard me talk about it. And you can find it online. But it's really a fantastic, innovative way for students at MCC that are either starting businesses or want to start a business to become successful business owners. And it's a 2-year program, and it's really, really fantastic. And I'm just going to throw this out because I'm really proud of this. The Mesa Cares program that the city is, the phase 2 of that the city just launched yesterday, has a number of partners that provide different services to help Mesa businesses succeed. As part of our offerings, 2 of the businesses that are helping other Mesa businesses succeed are green flag businesses. So they're businesses that are a part of the green flag program. So I am very proud of the fact that we were able to build this resource. One of them is owned by Milo. So White Puppy Productions, I think, is the name of the business. I'm just kidding about that, by the way. Don't trademark that. Let Sally trademark that first. But I'm really proud of the fact that we have been able to develop a stable of new businesses that now are able to reach out and help other Mesa businesses succeed. And that's really what the success story is for that. The other is the Capital Opportunity Program. And we recognized before the pandemic started that there was an opportunity for Mesa businesses to get the capital that they need to either expand, to grow, to meet a certain need. And so we built the Mesa Capital Opportunity Program to meet that need. If you're interested in that program, I'm happy to talk to you about that program. Just reach out to me. Or you can actually message Milo, and Milo will be happy to send you some information on that program. So, business referral groups. Can I get a little show of hands on your little hand showing icons on your profiles? How many people are a part of the business referral groups? I can't really see everybody because I'm in share mode, but give you just a sec to represent. So the business referral groups, that's a really core piece of chamber benefit, if you will. And what it is it's the opportunity for members to act as the voice and the sales team for other members. So a business referral group, for those of you that may not know, they meet usually once a week. And the idea is that they become a team amongst themselves. So we have 4 groups. Each group is made up of members that represent one specific industry. And each member of that group, their mission is twofold. One is to really kind of act as a cheerleader for the other members of the group. So as you're going through your week, you're out and about in the community, and if somebody says, hey, you know what, I just realized I need a new deck, or I need a new refrigerator. And the idea is that you are familiar enough with the members of your group that you can say, oh, hey, I'm part of a leads group, and I have a person in leads group that does refrigerators, and I'm happy to get you connected and get that taken care of. Can I get your information? So you're acting as almost a sales force for everybody else in the group. And then you bring that all back together each week, and you kind of exchange that. It's like trading cards. You exchange your leads. And then in addition to that, there's an opportunity to have some presentations to learn more in depth about each member of the group, do one-on-ones with members of the group, and then there's presentations to learn more in more general terms about business and improving your business. So like I said, there are 4 groups right now: Central, Superstation, Falcon, and Riverview. I don't know, Linda. Linda kind of coordinates the groups from a staff standpoint. I don't know, Linda, if you want to expound on any of that.
Sure. I was just in the process of writing a note to say if anybody is interested in learning more about the groups, more information, please feel free to let me know. I'll put it in the chat. It is a great way of marketing your business, of, like Bob said, really getting others to support you. Really cannot say enough about how great these groups are. They're really just a great, cohesive, supportive group that really want to help you promote your business as well. So if you want any more information on the groups, where they meet, how they're meeting right now, they're all meeting via Zoom. Please feel free to let me know. Would love to share the information. And I see that Riverview and Central Mesa have both put information in on their groups. So feel free to reach out to them or to me. Thanks so much.
So also, if you're on the call and you're a member of a group, feel free to post that you're a member of a group, not just the group information, but you're a member of a group, so somebody knows that they can ask you about it if they want. So the groups really are about community. They're really about building a team of people who believe in each other and who support each other and work to promote each other. So really that's the core of what the business referral groups are to do, is to provide that network of support. So we have a number of affinity program benefits, and I'm just looking to see if I've got them all, and I do not have them all here. So I'm going to talk to a couple that are not listed. So an affinity program is a program where the chamber has negotiated with a business to provide a benefit, a discount, if you will, or some sort of a benefit to membership. And then as a thank you for providing that benefit, whenever someone takes advantage of it, that business then supports the chamber. So it kind of helps everybody, you know, sort of receive a benefit out of the transaction, if you will. Right now, we have several sort of exclusive affinity programs, including Office Depot. We have a fantastic healthcare plan. This is actually the one that I kind of want to, this is the one that I want to spend just a second on, if I may, which is the lifestyle health plans. We worked for a long time to find a healthcare solution for membership, especially smaller businesses for whom the costs of healthcare are just crazy. And so one of our members, Alan Leafman, Alpha Benefits, was able to pull together a program that saves everybody at every stage of the game. And so, of course, we took advantage of it because we're a small organization too. And I think, Sally, do you remember how much it was that the chamber saved on their healthcare?
I want to say we saved almost 60%. I think it was like 56%, something like that. Don't quote me. It was over 50. I know that, but
not small money. I mean, it's not like it's not like $5.
No, it was a savings for the chamber. It was a savings for the staff. It was huge difference for us. And I will say that the benefits match or are even better than what we had through United Healthcare. It's huge for us.
Yeah. So, and the reason that I kind of want to emphasize that is because it's something that we want to get everybody that could see the benefit, at least to have a discussion with Alan and see the benefit for themselves and then make that decision. We don't want anybody to feel like they've been left out of that. So if you are interested in learning more about that, drop a note to myself, drop a note to Sally, drop a note to Linda or Susan even, and we'll get you connected where you need to be to make that happen. So I do have one addition to this list and one takeaway. Because Sprint was purchased by, who did they get purchased by? I forget. The other telecommunications company.
I think it was T-Mobile, wasn't it?
Thank you. T-Mobile. So because Sprint was purchased by T-Mobile, that program actually retired. And then we've recently added Loft Greens office supplies. So if you do business with Loft Greens, you can actually get a discount on some of that, some of the products that you buy through the Chamber Affinity Program. Excuse me. And the easiest way to take advantage of that is when you call them, just let them know that you you want to be a part of the Chamber Affinity Program. So, and they will make sure that you are enrolled in that. Feel free to post any questions about the affinity programs in the chat, and I'm happy to kind of give you any additional information that I know, or at least make sure that if we need to, we get you connected with the right person to learn more. So chamber advertising. This is kind of where I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the ways that you can advertise your business digitally. Now, normally, we've kind of already talked about some of the stuff that you can do as part of your membership that are core parts of your membership. So things like posting press releases, you know, posting job opportunities, making sure your events are updated. But there's a lot of other ways that you can promote your business online. And I've listed some of them here, but there's also others that I haven't listed. We actually made a whole catalog of all the different ways that you can promote your business through the chamber. So digital ads on the Chamber website, and this one gets overlooked a lot because we don't spend a lot of time promoting it. We really probably should, because it's a fantastic way for you to kind of keep messaging your business over time. So you'll notice when you go to mesachamber.org, you'll see that there's a banner ad at the top. And then if you kind of navigate into the site a little bit, you'll see there's some banner ads on the left. You can actually put your business in one of those spots. So the one on the top is a rotating one. So everybody that wants to participate kind of rotates through, and the software will pick one to show at any given page when someone pulls it up. And that gets people usually somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think it's like 3,000 impressions every month. And then, you know, based on how well you design the ad and what the message of the ad is, your click-through rate or your rate of response varies. But because we see 5,600 people a month, unique people a month that come to the Chamber website, it's a lot of impressions, but more importantly, it's a lot of impressions from people that live in Mesa. So it's a focused audience. It's not just like Facebook where any old person anywhere is going to see that ad. This is people that are specifically in Mesa looking for Mesa related stuff. So it really gives you a much stronger presence than you would receive through some other channels that you would advertise on. Right now, we're not doing a lot of physical display and advertising programs. I will say, keep the Compass magazine handy. The idea of advertising in the Compass magazine, because that process is going to get started fairly soon. And so you're going to want an ad in that magazine. If for no other reason, I'm going to say it again, it's delivered 20,000 of them to people's houses where they're going to have it in their home where they can access it as a resource when they need it. So don't forget that when the time comes and Susan bugs you about Compass advertising. Susan? Yes? Okay, you muted out. Okay, very good. So one of the other ways that you can promote your business is you can build brand identity through sponsorships. And so what this means is whether it's some of the live events that, yes, they're on hold right now, but you can still be a sponsor of, let's say, Mesa Morning Live Digital. So you want your brand associated with what we're doing with Mesa Morning Live digitally. You can still call us up and say, hey, I want to be a sponsor of that. How do I do that? And you do that. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Sally, and we'll get you some more information on that. But what it does is it associates your brand with something that's very well known in the Mesa community. Because things like Mesa Morning Live, they get broadcast on Channel 11. That accesses 400,000 people. So that brand is well known. Mark always tells stories about how he's getting gas and somebody will come up to him and say, hey, you're that guy on that TV show in Mesa. And it's actually really cool because it has that sort of brand identity to it. So you have the opportunity to be a part of those brands. We also have some specific opportunities coming up in relation to some of the sort of tweaks that we're making to our event schedule. So if you're interested in learning more about those as we finalize them, feel free to send us a note so that we can keep you in the loop on those changes as we make them and get them going. So you can also sponsor podcasts and now Zooms, so either visual and or audio, which is a fantastic way for you to tell your story. One of the great things about this change, this digital change, is you now have access to tell your story in a way that maybe people weren't as accepting of previously. Used to be that, hey, yeah, I'll watch a YouTube video or whatever, but now it's kind of like the accepted form of communication. So we have the ability to interview you and let you tell you the story of your business and the story of what you do in a way that gets people excited to want to engage with you. So definitely, if you're interested in some of that, let us know. We're happy to facilitate and coordinate that. You can also see the videos that we've already done by going to the Mesa Chamber YouTube channel. You can listen to the podcasts that we've already done by going to the actually mesachamber.org. And if you just scroll down, you'll see the podcast list and you can listen to any of the shows there. It's really a great, I don't know how to say it any other way except to say it again. It's really a great way to tell your story and kind of connect people to the people side of what you do so that they really want to do business with you. So what's next? New members. If you're brand new, I know, Peggy Lawson is on this call. Peggy is our ambassador chair, and Peggy's awesome. I don't know how else to describe it. Peggy's just fantastic. So Peggy's team of ambassadors, if you're brand new, her team of ambassadors are going to reach out to you and kind of introduce you to chamber life, if you will. Answer questions that you have, encourage you to get started and get your first meeting scheduled, those types of things. So, and real quick, Peggy, do you want to talk just a real brief moment about the ambassadors?
Sure. I'm Peggy Lawson, as Bob said, not Keith, as my subtitle says there. We are a group of members that have all had at least 6 months experience in the membership, and we understand the chamber motives and all the programs that are offered to our members, and we try and steer you into meeting each other and attending different meetings, Zoom meetings at the moment. We meet once a month to go over lots of things, and we each are assigned a new member every month at our meetings, and so we'll be contacting you shortly. It's just a fun group. I'm sure you'll love every one of our members, our ambassadors. So thanks, Bob.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you guys know, if you have been with us, if you're a tenured member and you've been with us for 6 months and you're interested in becoming an ambassador, reach out to Peggy and let her know. We're always kind of on the hunt for tenured members that are interested in sharing the chamber's benefits. So, we're looking for optimistic, excited people that really want to make a difference and really kind of want to make sure that membership gets the most that they can out of their chamber membership. So if that's of interest to you, reach out to Peggy. I'm sure she's already put her contact information into the chat, so just feel free to do that. At this point, every member should have an ambassador assigned to them. So if you need to know who your ambassador is, feel free to reach out to us. Teresa would be probably the quickest person to do that, and she can tell you who your particular ambassador is. If you're an existing member and you have questions, please don't hesitate, reach out to Linda. So at the beginning of the call, I had kind of asked you to take some notes on some of the things that you want to accomplish with your chamber membership. So I'm going to ask you to document that in an email and send that either over to Linda or to your ambassador. So if you want to send that to your ambassador as a way to say, hey, I understand that you're my ambassador and I kind of wanted to introduce myself. Here are some of the things that I'd like to get done with my chamber membership. Or if you just want to send it to Linda and say, hey, Linda, here's what I want to get done. That helps us to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to help you get the most out of your membership. So with that, I noticed that my co-host has probably gone off to take a nap somewhere. Are there any questions? I will open up for questions. And I'm going to stop share because I want to see everybody. I think I want to stop share. There we go. Whoop. What do you got, Sally?
Well, so, okay, I have a question for you. I learn things on these calls, but I also have a question. You gave a ton of information, but you specifically said top 10 ways to promote your business. So are you going to send out kind of a checklist for people?
So yes, I will. What I'll do is I'll send you, and because we are getting close to the end of the call, I don't want to spend a lot more time going into another screen share to kind of share those 10. I will send you an email with each of those and then a link to how to take advantage of them. So I touched on a couple of them, but there are actually a lot more than I think we had time for, and I probably overcommitted and underplanned.
That's okay. So I know a lot of people put information in the chat, so we'll go ahead and we will download that and we'll send it to all of you so you don't have to do that and clean it up. We'll take care of that on our side. It's just good to see so many people on the call.
I know, it's great. How are you guys all doing? Everybody good? Give me a thumbs up if you're okay. Give me a thumbs up. All right. Everybody ready? Did you take some time, and if there was somebody in particular that you wanted to reach out to, did you go copy their information out of the chat? So make sure you do that. If there's
You can actually go down to the bottom right where those 3 buttons are, and you can save the chat.
There you go. So if you want, save the chat and then follow up with everybody. Make sure you're doing the follow-up.
And I did have a question, Bob, real quick.
Yeah.
The hydration campaign. I heard a rumor that there was an easier way to donate instead of groups collecting money or collecting donations. Is there a way for us to individually go in and donate a certain dollar amount?
I'm gonna.
Good that you asked. Melissa's on this call.
She's probably typing out a message to me right now because I just.
You just softballed Melissa, didn't you? Go ahead, Mel.
So you can create on United Food Bank's website, so, www.unitedfoodbank.org. You can create your own campaign where people can go and make donations. You can upload your team's logo, you know, for your leads group. And then everybody can kind of interact within that campaign. And you can share that link. After you've created some easy step-by-step process, upload the information, just keep hitting next, you're done. And then you get a link that you can share. You can share it with anybody you want to.
Awesome.
$144 and some change is a pallet of water, which is over 2,000 pounds, 2,000 bottles. It's actually 2,200 bottles of water. So, and that's the 1-ton challenge.
Good deal. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. That was a really good. That was a good segue there.
If you look at the chat room, it's like everybody's competing. Everybody wants to get information out about their leads group because there's so many great networking groups and so many great people within those groups. So if you're not in one of the groups, you should take advantage and go visit some of these groups on Zoom and check them out.
So again, one of the benefits of being in the group is that the groups are represented individually by one person per industry. So if your industry is unique, or if your industry isn't represented in a group, you're going to be the only person of that industry in the group. So it really helps to solidify that support net to make sure that you have an active group of people out there talking about your business for you.
And you are invited to go to any of the groups, go check them out, see if it's a good fit for you. I can tell you that each one is very unique and they are just amazing. So check them out. Please feel free to reach out to me. I have a list of the groups and where they would meet after we are done with Zoom, and see if that would work for you. But it's a great way to network and a great way to grow your business.
So I think we're good at this point. I didn't see any other questions pop in. Happy to answer them if you do, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Sally to close us out.
I think we've covered everything. It's been great to get an update from you, Bob, but also, you know, to see everybody on this call. We will download the chat file for you all, and Bob will send you that and the list of the top 10 things that he was talking about. And we just want you to know that, you know, we're an extension of your own business. So if you need help, we're here for you. I would say 24/7, but not everybody works through the night. Almost that though. We are here for you. So, you know, reach out to your chamber team. That's why we're here.
Thank you guys. Be safe.
We'll talk to you all soon. Thank you.